Howdy, folks. Popcorn and whiskey. We are live. How you doing? My name is Andrew. I am the face who runs the place. Yes, it's been about a month or so, a little bit of a hiatus, and I'm back. And we'll talk about why the hiatus happened and things that are going on. So, welcome everybody. Glad to be here. Oh, salute! Here we go. Cheers. Also, happy birthday to my lovely older, younger sister. Yes, I said older, younger. That's what she says. Somehow she was born before me, but now she's younger than me. I don't know. You figure it out. Anyway, happy birthday, sis. I was actually at her house up until a little bit ago. Yeah. You know what's weird? This shirt is actually green, almost the same color green as this hat. Almost, just a little bit off. And look on screen here. Don't know why. Isn't that weird? Some cameras do that. Anyway, okay. So, what has been going on, Mr. Andrew? Wow. Well, last week in my town, we had the Little Italy Festival. So, I was preoccupied with that, doing all kinds of stuff for the festival. I mean, I'm with the local Lions Club, so I do a lot of stuff with them. And we had our annual chicken and spaghetti dinners for 2 days, and worked my butt off. And we're talking 12 plus hours a day. So when I got home, I did not want to come on live. I basically took a shower, put my feet up, and fell asleep in the chair both nights. All 4 nights, actually, because it was set up the day before and clean up the day after. So 4 days. Before that, I was in Italy. That's right. I went to visit some cousins. I was in Italy and having a great time with my cousins. And my goal tonight is to show you some of the videos that I shot over there, if you haven't seen them already, with my show tonight. We'll see if that works or not when I share my screen and then do things of that sort. So we'll see. But it was an absolute blast of a trip. My gosh, it was a trip of a lifetime. I have an advantage. When I say I mean my sister as well. I have an advantage when we go to Italy because we have so many cousins and relatives that we hang out with and stay with and do things with. And without them, excuse me, without my relatives, without my cousins being there, it would not have been as spectacular of a trip as it was. And I can't begin to tell you how marvelous and wonderful and whatever adjective I could throw in there, how good it actually was. I was in the northern part of Italy, in the Vicenza area, if you know where that is. Vicenza, Tiene, Marostica. Actually, San Giorgio was the name of the town. About a town about this big, and up in the mountains, if you will. And Asiago, a lot of people heard of Asiago cheese. That's why I was up in that area. Breathtaking scenery compared to what I'm used to. I mean, those folks see it every day, so they're used to it. I don't get to see it. Well, you know what? It's like this microphone is a Pavlov's dog type of thing. I wasn't yawning at all until I flipped on the microphone, got on live, and here I am yawning all the time. But I say I'm at an advantage because when I go there with my cousins, I don't do the touristy stuff like Rome, Florence, Venice, stuff of that sort. Those are the 3, and Milan. Those are 4 major cities you see when you or people talk about when they talk about Italy. Been to Rome, been there, done that. Yeah, whatever. Been to Venice a few times, been there, done that. Yeah, whatever. Milan, nah. Florence, I'd like to go. I've never been to Florence. I would like to go to Florence one of these days. I actually have a high school friend of mine who lives in Florence, so that would help when I go visit her. The Amalfi Coast, yeah, I would like to see that. I have a friend that lives in the Amalfi Coast, and I'd like to go visit her as well. Farther south, don't know much about it at all, so I can't speak of it. I would like to go to Sardinia. Why? I don't know. I just think it would be neat to say I've been there because not too many people say they've been there. At least people I've talked to, they don't say they've been there. So I don't know how that works. If they've been there or why they've been there or why not they've been there. I First of all, I hope I'm broadcasting live here. Let me see if I am or not. I would assume I am. Let me see if I'm coming across. First of all, because I keep talking and I don't hear myself, so I want to make sure here. Yes, okay. I am live. Okay, that's good. So what I might be doing, and I might hold off until next time to do it. When I'm better prepared, and I went through and how do I want to phrase this? Uh, Better prepared and put them in an order, so I'm not hunting and pecking all the time. I took a lot of videos of the scenery, of the roads, and of different things I was doing while I was over in Italy. Didn't take many pictures of myself or my cousins. Again, gee whiz, like I said, it's Pavlov's top freaking dog type thing. And had a couple of videos that I did with my cousins, and I sent to my sister, and we had an absolute ball doing that. I want to explain this to the folks who are watching who have immediate family. And if you do, you don't know how lucky you are. And I'm saying that in the most sincere way I possibly can. My sister and I, through no fault of our own and no fault of our parents, it's just what happened. Life took you this direction. We basically grew up here in the United States, which I am blessed to be, and I'm glad I never grew up anywhere else. The Which is, hi John, hey JD, how you doing, buddy? My sister and I did not have blood relatives close by to do anything with. Yeah, we had a lot of close friends, and my sister's husband, his family has embraced me with open arms, so I have no complaints about that whatsoever. Um, but it's different when you have blood relatives, blood family, and it's hard to explain unless you've never experienced it. My sister and I understand exactly what we're talking about when we talk about this, because we never grew up with family, so we didn't have a blood family around us. So when we go to Italy, which is where all my cousins are. On my dad's side, there's 14 cousins, first cousins on my dad's side. Oh, I thought something was falling behind me here. 14 cousins on first cousins on his 14 or 15. I forget. We have to. I always get mixed up with the count. And very seldom do they all get together. Only when my sister and I go, or different times, is when they all get together. Now, I am one of the youngest, believe it or not. I am the third from the youngest. And it's interesting dynamic to see all the cousins get together, and it's like the when I see it, it's like they get together all the time because there's such a cohesive unit. Everyone gets together and hangs out, and like they're buddies that hang out every week. But I'm told that they only get together like that as a group in that kind of capacity when myself or my sister go to visit, which is odd to me because I figured they do it all the time, just the way everything was cool. So, but it's such a special time. It's such a special occasion when it all happens. And yes, there is alcohol involved. There is wine, there's beer, there's grappa. If you don't know what grappa is, it's grappa. Grappa. That is, lack of a better term, Italian moonshine, but it's made from grape pressings. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. And just like here, just like moonshine, different proofs, and I could talk about that all day long because I know somebody who actually makes it and they do very well with it, and so I can talk firsthand on how it's all done and things of that sort. Okay. So maybe we'll save that for another show. But when you have the dynamic of your cousins, of your blood relatives there with you, it is so much different. And again, if you have this all the time, experience it all the time, God bless you. You don't know how lucky you are to have that, and cherish it, because believe me, when you don't have it, you miss it, and you miss it big time. Like right now, just talking about it, I'm actually holding back tears because I enjoyed it so much and I miss it so much. Yes, I am holding back tears, and my sister and I've never talked about this, but I'll speak for her as well. She would be holding back tears as well. Absolutely, she would be, and it's hard to explain. And I keep saying this, and the only other person who understands this is my sister, and we've talked about it extensively. And I even try to explain this to my cousins over there, and they don't quite grasp it as well. And at one get together we had, it was a whole afternoon of partying, of eating, of drinking, of fellowship, of friendship, of familyship, however you want to look at it. And thanks, JD. Yes, family is important. And at one point, I'm watching all the table, because when you get a bunch of Italians together, it's not quiet. I will tell you right now, it's not quiet. Thank God we were outside. Thank God we were outside. It was an interesting um, view, an interesting, I don't want to say interesting dynamic. Maybe that word dynamic is appropriate here. But to watch all the interactions going on between cousins, between cousins' children, who they're basically not children anymore. They're all adults, 18 plus, um, and other cousins going on. And you see people moving from this seat to that seat, and conversations over here, conversations over there. And come to find out later that some people haven't talked for 4 or 5 years, and all of a sudden they start talking like they were best of buddies. They hang out every day. Other ones who I knew when they were growing up in the teens and in the 20s were hanging out all the time. And then they both got families and they moved separately, but they came back together. And it was like time didn't stop for them. I mean, it was just the dynamic of watching this. And at one point, I actually stepped back and was just watching and listening to the conversations and how everything was going. And it was amazing to me. Now, again, some of you see this on a weekly basis with your cousins. Great. Fantastic. I don't get to see it. So it was such um, inspiring is not the word for it. What word am I looking for here when I say this? It was touching. Like I said, it literally brought tears to my eyes watching all this. Um, Thanks, JD. Give me another comment and share. Sounds and look like you had a great trip, man. That's awesome. Yeah, JD. And and no offense, JD. I hope you understand, but I'm not bringing you on tonight because I'm talking about this this trip, and I really can't talk about it with anybody else. I mean, if my sister was here, I'd talk to her about this because she wasn't on the trip with me, but she's been there, so she experienced the same thing, and we can sit here and chit chat all day long. I'd love to bring some of my cousins on here, but they're 6 hours ahead of us, and so right now their time it would be 3:30 a.m. So they're not going to come on with me at this point. Even though a couple of them maybe woke up and watching this like they said they would, and so who knows? But the family time. Jonathan, back to my everyday profile, helping you out with some traction. Absolutely. I'm happy just to be a viewer. Thank you, JD. I appreciate that. I hope you understand. So the scenery of some of the places, and you know what? I'm going to see if I can find something to show you guys here. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what, because I have it up here already. I'm going to try this. Okay, I'm going to show you some of the pictures that I did take a little bit. This is a bruschetta as they call it, that my cousin makes at his house. He is, I don't want to say he's a master chef, but he loves to cook and loves to dabble and everything. This is a bruschetta the way it's supposed to be. Okay. So this is maybe, this whole board is probably, I'm guessing, wait a second here. The whole board is probably a good 10 inches by 5-inch board. Okay. And the bruschetta fits on there. So it's a unique piece of bread that he toasts. And I can't find this anywhere around here. At least I haven't yet. And the way he makes this was incredible. But we have, it looks like some mushrooms, some prosciutto, some cheese, some, looks like some olives. I think we had some anchovies on here as well. But you make bruschetta different ways, and it was absolutely delicious. Probably my favorite meal I had there, and I had some pretty damn good eating over there. Okay, and this is the car I had.
Finally, the guy's
car that I rented.
All right, let me come get a good picture on this side.
Chinto, as they call it, in there it is, right there. All right, I'm not gonna get into a lot of details, but that was my car. Did I drive it a whole lot? No. Basically, from the airport to my cousin's house and back. That's about what it was. This is the view from my cousin's house, and let me put my headphones on here.
Okay, this is the view from other cousin's house, just in this courtyard. Looking around. I can't tell you how breathtaking this is. I absolutely love it. Later I'll get a little higher so you can see it all.
Yeah, so that's the view from one of my cousin's house. And again, let's see, here's another view up in the mountains.
Okay, here we are up in the mountains. I was here last time. I came here by myself, now I'm with my cousins. But this is absolutely beautiful, folks. I don't know what to tell you. We were like 1,200 meters up.
Okay, just to give you a reference, where I'm staying, I do believe it was down there somewhere. So that's where we're at.
And just going through these small roads, and they have all kinds of vehicles going on around here. And because everyone's on vacation mode, so this place is packed. There's wall-to-wall cars, but it's breathtaking. My cousins. This is a little bar. Let me come over this way a little bit. This is a bar I came to by myself last time.
Okay, let me tell you something about this little bar. Last time I was here, this is cool. Talk about this. So, last time I was there, that bar that you just saw, 8 years ago, I just went driving by myself up in the mountains, taking rights, taking lefts, taking rights, taking lefts up in the mountains. I didn't know where I was going. Came across this little bar. It was 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, and I guess it's like a ski resort type of place, but at the time there wasn't any skiers, there wasn't any snow, and it wasn't on vacation. And I just stopped and started taking pictures and videos, and somebody comes out from the inside of the bar. Now, granted, the bar was not open at this point. And the guy says, "Are you lost? Can I help you?" He says in Italian, and right away he spots that I'm American. So the person spoke English to me, and I speak Italian, the dialect, so broken, so I can get by. Put it that way. As I'm talking to the guy, I tell him who I am, what I'm doing, and he invites me in. Granted, the place is not open. All right, it's not open yet. He invites me in, ends up being the owner, and I just say, he says, "Can I get you something?" I said, "I just take a glass of water." Well, you just don't get a glass of water when you're in Italy and different places. So he pulls out a bottle of wine and brings out a couple of sandwiches for me and him, and we sit there and chit chat for a while. To this day, I couldn't tell you what he looks like, couldn't tell you his name. I tell you, it was the friendliest place, very hospitable, very nice, and I had a great time. And I would recommend this place to anybody. Again, so let's see. There it is.
And that was the only place that was open. Well, it wasn't even open yet. I came here before it opened up. And the owner brought me in and brought me
well, I guess I'm not gonna. I guess I'm not going to say a whole lot about the bar itself, just to show the view a little bit as the video is going.
Cool. I'm going to come over here, give you some more videos of this area. You got cars going everywhere around here.
Okay, so a couple of my cousins, couple of the roads as we're taking here. This is cool. This is at a restaurant. See if I don't know if I can zoom in on this or not. Yeah, this is at a restaurant I went to, and have a gnocchi fest. And this dude is a big wooden dude, supposed to be like a Bigfoot type guy. It's a Uruk, Uruk. He's like the guardians of the gnocchi, guardians of the mushrooms. Okay, so this is the restaurant I went to. This is pretty cool. If the video plays or not, I don't know if it will or not. Doesn't seem like it's going to. Oh well, too bad. Let me try it again one more time here because it's playing here. Let me see if I can get to play here. Why is it not playing? I don't know. But the restaurant was neat. I've never been there before, and this is the first time my cousins brought me there. This is a place in Braganza. This area here, this is like in their little square. This area is a little bar area that's been there for God knows how long. It was there in 1982, my first time I went to Italy. This was there. So it's been around for a long time where people meet there and just hang out. So it's fantastic. I can't tell you enough how it is. I'm trying to find. I did a video where I'm just driving or let the car go on its own. So this is another bruschetta. This is at a restaurant. This bruschetta actually had onions, and you think you're going to think this is gross, but it had onions and tuna on it, and cheese and tomato sauce, marinara sauce. Wow. Oh man. You talk about delicious. Wow. This is at a restaurant. Not as good as when my cousin made it, but it was great. This one had prosciutto. Over here it had prosciutto, looks like. And I don't know what this one had. These are my cousins. And of course, we had a couple of beers as well. Imagine that, huh? So, and this is a pizza. You get pizzas, individual pizzas, not personal pan pizzas like they used to have at Pizza Hut. But we're good. 6 to 8 inch pizzas. And I couldn't even tell you what all this one had on here. They had all kinds of different things. I told my cousin to order it for me. And I put the fork and knife there so you have some sort of how big it actually is. Delicious. Delicious, delicious, delicious. That's okay. That's my cousin's driving there. Okay, and these are the views from my aunt's house. She lives on the other part of northern Italy. Okay, why aren't these videos playing here? What's going on? For some reason, the videos don't want to play, and this is going to piss me off if these don't play. Pictures of my cousin, pictures of my aunt, pictures of the road. Okay, this is really pissing me off that this one isn't playing. This is me basically. If it plays, which is obvious, it's not playing. I don't know why. Let me try something here. If I go back, let me just refresh this page. So I refresh the page, maybe it's going to happen. Yeah, you're going to see all kinds of weird stuff here, which I'll eventually explain, but I'm not going to right yet. Okay, let's see if I can get this to play. Here we go. Okay, now I'm going to take you on a ride with me. This is coming down the mountains. Oh, wait a second here. This is going to be interesting. This is coming down the mountains close to where my parents grew up. And I'm just going to put this in neutral. And hopefully we're just going to go down the mountains. And hopefully I don't get pulled over by the police anywhere anytime soon. I'm just going to come down the mountains and see if I can keep this camera centered as I'm going through this, and hopefully no one's going to come up behind me. But some of these roads are incredible. Okay, now before anybody yells at me for cinematography, I just put the car in neutral. It's a 5-speed or 6-speed actually. Put the car in neutral, going downhill through these hairpin turns, and hopefully no one's going to be coming behind me. And as we're going through these roads, trying to put the camera at a place where you can see it, but it's going to be a little jumpy because, of course, I'm doing like 5 things at once here. At least
for me, they're incredible. I've never seen roads like this before, at least not in the where I come from in the States. So, and if you didn't know, right now I am in Italy, Vicenza, Italy. Is not Vicenza, but I guess I just left a place called Louisiana, and I'm going to come down to I don't even know what the heck these cities are called. I know I'm going toward Fada and Farah, if you want to say it in English, in San Giorgio, where mom and dad grew up. I'm going to take you through some of these roads as I go through here as we're going, and hopefully we'll do this. But some of these mountain views are breathtaking. And again, if there's places like this in the States, I'm sure there are, but I haven't seen any yet. And I'm sure when people see me say, "Who in the heck is this guy doing this?" And so far, I haven't encountered any traffic behind me, so that's a good thing. But
Okay, I still have this in neutral as I'm just coasting down. I'm not changing gears.
see what's going on, and I can concentrate on the road as we talk here. And that's it for the time being. I got this car in front of me. Maybe I don't want to follow this car. I wish it would go a little bit faster. So once I start doing something with this video, and I chop it up a little bit and use it at other places, I don't want a car in front of me like this. So I'm going to go a little slower, let this car go for a while. I'm just right now. I'm just in neutral. I'm not changing any gears or anything at this point. And
as you can tell, this is a hairpin turn coming up here. When I say hairpin, I'm talking hairpin turn.
Some of these turns are like you wouldn't believe how sharp these things are. And there's no one behind me yet, thank goodness, because I don't want to be behind. I don't want somebody to be behind me like I'm behind this guy in front of me. But as we're going through this, these cars are little compared to what we're used to, and don't know what to tell you, but this is nuts. I enjoy it, going back and forth in the turns. It's hard enough doing this with the recorder in front of me like I'm doing, let alone with the trying to change gears as we're going through this. So, and I'm not changing gears, like I said, just got it neutral right now. And this is more difficult than I thought it would be. Oh, now we're getting cars behind me. So we will probably stop here in a second. But as we're going through all these turns, and maybe if I got another turn off coming up here like I had when I first started this, it'd be good. But now we got a whole bunch of cars coming behind me. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop this video and maybe start it up again in a little bit.
Okay, so that was one of the videos that I had there, and what as we're going through the as I'm going through the roads, I'm trying to watch and pay attention, and hopefully there's not going to be any police. Which actually there was a policeman coming up behind me, so that was interesting. And that's one of my cousin's motorcycles. Yeah, I don't think you can see this right here. Can you? No, okay, I don't have that on the screen anymore. Anyway, so the whole experience was great. I went to a couple of forts from World War I. These forts were up in the mountains, and I took some videos, and maybe I'll post them another time. But where they fought in World War I against the Austrians. I went to a couple of them. There's like sacred places. So, you take your hats off and everything else. There was some dingalings who didn't take their hats off. I mean, it's like the only thing I can compare it to in the United States that I know of is like a Gettysburg. Maybe, and I also said this, maybe like the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Very, very somber, very, very respected place. Makes you really think about everything. But what I just couldn't grasp in my mind how these were kids back in World War I, 18, 19, 20 years old, no, 25 years old. These were kids who were fighting in this war against the Austrians up in the mountains, and how they built this fort with blocks and bricks and rock, and it carried all this heavy equipment or this artillery up in these roads. Is amazing to me how they did this. I say this because it took us a good hike to get up there, and we were going on paved roads. So back then, these kids, yeah, they were kids. They didn't have any paved roads, and they had to carry all this stuff up there, and the meals and the food and the medical stuff. How they did this is beyond me. I mean, these forts were incredible, all carved into the side of a mountain, and they use this to protect their homeland against the Austrians. I mean, I don't know much about World War One and how it all worked, but that's what my cousins was telling me. Hi, Eliza. How you doing? And this, just to think about it, I mean, this is over 100 years ago where all this taking place, and it just amazes me how that happened and how these kids did it, and what they must have sacrificed and everything else. And so it was a somber experience, and to see the Italians basically who were there watching it or going through it and reading all the stuff inside the fort, like this room was for this room was for that. Um, and they actually had where they kept prisoners and things of that sort. That was, and they had a medical facilities and places where soldiers slept, and or they had different places where they had holes carved out in the rock where they put their guns through to shoot the enemy. It was, I can't explain it, but it was very, very interesting. That and I'm not a war guy, so I don't know much about the war, and how it all worked. So I don't want to. I won't get off on that a little bit. All right. Here's another one I'll tell you. Let me get to it here. Here we go. Again, here we go.
Yeah, these are all the vineyards of my dad's old property. Now it's my cousin's property, two of my cousins. And believe it or not, we was actually working in here today. See the bottoms? See the bottoms? So when they spray for weeds, you can't have leaves on the bottom, just like us over there in our place. So my cousin and I went through all the different rows and was cutting off what we needed to cut off at the bottom. He was doing 5 times the work I was. Of course, he does it all the time. It was my first time doing it. And as you can see, we had quite a few rows to do. It was pretty fun. Way back there, all those rows. Interesting. And picking some of the grapes, because grapes are going to be harvested here in the next week or two. But we were, as we were walking through the vineyards, we were able, get a grape here, grape there, and talk about delicious. Wow, it's great.
Yeah, the grapes I was getting right off the vine. And here's something one of my cousins made. Mozzarella cheese and tomatoes and fresh basil. Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely delicious. Here's a dish. This is called bigoli con anatra. It's basically duck sauce and it's bigoli spaghetti. You talk about one of the best dishes ever, right there. Not as good as the bruschetta from my cousins, and not as good as a couple other pastas from my cousins. This is at a restaurant. Very, very, very delicious. Absolutely. I don't know what I was talking about here. Let's see what this is all about. If it comes up or not. Look like I'm either drunk or tired. I'm sure I was tired at this point. I don't know why half of these aren't playing. It's really pissing me off. But oh well. Picture some of the grapes of my cousin's vineyard. Right there, the grapes right off the vine. Yeah, these were delicious. When I say delicious, I mean delicious. This is probably 10:30 in the morning. I took this picture. Yeah, more pictures of the mountains. Again, I don't know why the video isn't playing, but this was the mountains I got to see, got to experience, got to live up in. And one of my favorite pictures when we're up in the mountains having a sandwich, my cousins and I. This is another one of those places up in the mountains where they had the like a fort, like a sacred place. Like I said, it was like our Gettysburg or stuff like that. This is all different pictures from there as well. My cousin has mules in his back. Another one of my cousins has mules in the back of his house. Huh, imagine that. This is the market again I was telling you about from before. Over this area is where that bar is over here, and unfortunately, nothing's playing here. Okay, this is the bruschetta that I actually did. Again, nothing's playing here. I actually made these bruschettas, so it was great. So, I'm not going to get into a whole lot of detail anymore, but an incredible trip, an absolutely incredible trip. I can stay on here all night long and talk to you about it, but I don't. I'm sure I'm going to bore some folks, but I'm not going to stay on much longer, folks. I just wanted to come on and say hi and let you know where I've been and why. And the plan is to do more of these as we go along, and not just on a Saturday night. And hopefully, it's going to happen soon. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. Going to give you one last hurrah, one last salute. Cheers. Here we go. You might see me again soon. And maybe even in the mornings, I might start doing this. I won't be drinking whiskey or anything, but I'm going to still call it popcorn and whiskey. I might have another show to do soon, and we'll see how that works out. Okay. All right. So, hey, if you haven't checked it out, go check out Top Fitness Strategies over on YouTube. Like it, go over there, check it out, and I'll go from there. Okay. I will stop it here, but I appreciate everybody being here. JD, thanks for all the shout outs, and we'll talk to you again soon. So, until next time, this is me. My name is Andrew. I'm the face who runs the place, Popcorn and Whiskey. Until next time, ciao.